Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name is Lefebvre and I want to start doing a little bit more short form content that is bite-sized that you can really use to do quick practices so you can keep going with watercolor daily. So today I wanted to do a quick fall kind of creamy looking flower and well, that's it. Let's just jump right in and start. Okay, so I want to show you just a quick, simple flower that you can do. It's not necessarily like a fall flower or a specific flower, but I wanted to do something short and sweet and fun. So, actually I might do like two little flowers here together. I don't know. Okay. So one color that I really love, especially for the fall, is this buff titanium color from Daniel Smith. If you do not have this color, you can make it if you have white watercolor or even white gouache. You could grab a ton of white watercolor. I'm just going to throw it there. Grab maybe a little bit of like a brown, like a burnt umber, and a little bit of yellow ochre. And that's not the color at all. Then you're going to add more white like that. And it's a little bit closer like that. To dull it down a little bit, we could add a little bit of blue. There's a little bit of blue in here, a little bit of ultramarine, just a tad bit, just to dull it down. And you get this kind of similar buff titanium color. So let's just use this because it's here. Okay, quick bite-sized tutorial. All right. So I'm going to start by just kind of doing an outline for the center of my flower here. I don't know what flower this is. I have no idea, but we're just going to go with it. And I'm going to do another one over here. We're going to have two kind of on a stem together. Okay, this one's going to be pointing that way. This one's going to be pointing this way. And they're going to have lots of kind of petals, kind of like a sunflower. So I'm going to start with light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure, like that. The longer petals are going to be pointing up to this side. The shorter petals, to give a different perspective, are going to be around this side. So it looks like it's kind of tilting that way. Okay. And as we get around to the sides of the flower, they're going to start curving around. Okay. And they're going to start getting shorter. Kind of messy over here, and that's okay. Like that. Okay, now there's a little bit of separation here between some of these petals, and that's okay. You can kind of overlap if you want it to be a bit more full. Okay, and then we can do a little bit of shading later to kind of separate. But I love this color for the fall. All right, let's do the other one. This way, it's going to be pointing a bit more this way, so the longer petals are on this side, shorter on this side. So our stroke, they're light, heavy, light. Doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have the perfect point with this flower with these petals. You're just going to kind of keep going around. And you don't want it to be too uniform. You don't want it to be perfect. Okay? You want it to be a little bit messy and have some personality. Maybe even a little bit of white space in between where it hits the center here. The little white space pockets there. Like so. Like that. Okay? And then we'll get to adding a bit more to those once they're a bit more dry. A little bit of blue here. I don't know where that came from. Okay. Now I want to add a little bit of greenery. I have so many greens in here. Is this my moss green? I can't remember. But there's some really pretty greens in here. So I'm going to grab more of like an olivey green. And I'm just going to do little bits kind of poking out the back here. It's almost like a white sunflowery kind of look. But I love a good fall cream flower. And now I want to create a stem. So I want you to imagine a stem that's connected to the center of the back of here. So you're going to imagine it kind of coming through. And then you're going to start drawing it kind of coming down like this. Okay. Same with this one. Imagine it kind of coming through and hit where there's no petals. Like that. Okay. Now we can create some fun petals, and it's up to you. This is our kind of imaginary flower. So I love doing kind of like flowy petals a bit more, but we can kind of just play around. So I'm going to do light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure, like that. Have them curve and fold. Okay, let's do one that folds. I love doing a folding flower or leaf. So you're going to go light pressure, heavy pressure, kind of, and then bring it right down like that. This one can kind of come up. Okay, and then how we shade it will also be fun. We can even create like another stem that kind of comes up through. Like there's almost another flower that would grow there, but didn't. Like it's a little bud. Little kind of bottoms to it, like that. Why not? Just getting creative here. Then I'm going to go back over some of these leaves that have already dried and just create a little bit more darkness to some sides. So like this one that's folded, you know how we went up and we went down? The underneath would be right here, and see where it kind of cuts off? That's where you want to darken it. So it looks like it's folded, okay? These ones I'm just going to add a little bit there, there, however many you want to add, totally up to you. Okay, now our leaves are basically done. What we can do now is go back to our petals. I'm going to add a little bit more brown to our mixture here for our petals. And I'm just going to, with the tip of my brush, just start creating these little lines coming from the center through the petals. And you're not really outlining them, but you're kind of doing this like sketchy bit to make it look like you know which way they're pointing. So any that are like going around the sides, you want those lines curved. I'm trying to speak and my brain's not working as fast, or working too fast and my mouth can't compute what I'm trying to say. But you just want to curve these little tiny lines. If you need a smaller brush, you could always do that. You can even just make some darker if you want. There's no rules really. Like that, like that. I might want to get a darker, what color is that? That's gray. Darker brown. All right, add it to right where the center is going to be, just to make it a little bit more, give it a little bit more depth. And then what I'm going to do is get some cadmium yellow, not cadmium, nope, yellow ochre. And I'm going to do these little kind of dots going around, little strokes going around that center. Like that. You can kind of overlap some of the grayish color that you did, and if it bleeds into it, that's okay too. Just doing these little lines like that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my brown, whatever brown you want to use. I just want a nice dark brown. Maybe add a little bit of black in there. And I'm just going to do little lines in the center, and you can always go back over it when it's like a bit more dry, so it's a bit more detailed, like see the lines a bit more, like they're all kind of bleeding right here into that one. You can always just mop it up. Like that. You can have just some lines coming from the bottom, the top, whatever. Just have fun and just play around. I haven't painted this flower, so I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just having fun. And I think for this one, I'm just gonna grab the buff titanium. I'm gonna just create little petals that are like coming out like it's one that hasn't bloomed yet. There. And there you go. There is our quick bite-sized tutorial of these fun little flowers. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you all so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it. And if you want to see more content like this, where it's a bit more short form, please let me know what you'd like to see in the comments below, and I'll start working on it. And until then, make sure you are subscribed to my channel and keep following me on all my other platforms for tons more content. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.